Assalamu alaikum. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Islamophobia. What is that? Well, we all know what Islam is, and the word phobia means fear. So, Islamophobia is a fear of Islam. But but why? Why is there a fear of Islam? Well, the truth is, if you go back far enough, then you will find that Islam was all over the world. There were Muslims all over. Even in South America, there was Islam there. And it's because Muslims traveled the world by ship and traded with countries all over. If you go to the Far East, to Malaysia and Indonesia, those are Muslim countries. Brunei is a sultanate. It's a Muslim country that is ruled by a sultan or a king. And Islam got there via ship. The local people saw the way the Muslim traders uh, conducted their trade and the way they behaved and how honest they were, and they inquired about why it was like that, and they found out about Islam, and they all became Muslim. Today, those are Muslim countries. Islam spread throughout Asia. You even find Islam in Japan, in China. You find it on tiny islands, and it got to those islands centuries ago via ship. It was the only way to get there. Islam was found in Iceland and in North America as well. So, the way the world was before the Spanish is the world was Muslim and people flocked towards Islam. Islam was not spread by the sword. People adopted Muslim. People adopted Islam. If you look at the Mongols, everyone has heard of Genghis Khan, and he had a grandson called Kublai Khan. Genghis Khan created the biggest empire ever, the biggest. The Mongol Empire created by Genghis Khan was the biggest. And then his grandson came along, Kublai Khan, and made the empire even bigger. They devastated the eastern side of the Muslim world. In fact, Baghdad, which was a huge capital city of the Muslims, was flattened. Imagine the entire city being flattened. And it wasn't huts, it was bricks and castles and gardens. They killed everything. They killed every cat, dog, baby, mother, father, old person. They slaughtered them. And they had a habit of piling up heads, and they made one huge pile of the heads of the citizens of Baghdad. In other Muslim cities, they gave the citizens a chance to surrender or be slaughtered, and that happened. The citizens surrendered, and they were taken over by the Mongols. But the Mongols, being a nomadic tribe, they had no idea how to run and administer cities, so they used the existing Muslim administrators. And eventually, when they got to know about Islam, the Mongols reverted to Islam. They all became Muslim. Huge swaths. I mean, the Mongol leaders would instruct his followers to all become Muslim. And then they would just start learning how to be Muslim. So, how is this notion of Islam was spread by the sword come about when the conquered Muslims made their conquerors become Muslim? They never um, resisted the Mongols and re-attacked them and then reconquered them and then forced them to become Muslim at the point of a sword. No. They just accepted Mongol rule, they accepted that they were conquered, and they just carried on their lives as Muslims. And the Mongols, who had their own religion, by the way, they worship God in their own way, but they all became Muslim, all of them. And so that says a lot. And if you want to understand why there's a fear of Islam by non-Muslims, then you can get a lot of your answers from there. Because people are brainwashed into what Islam is all about. And most people, even here, there are a lot of people of European descent who live here in South Africa, and especially here in Cape Town. And a lot of them have absolutely no idea about Islam. If you ask them what is a Muslim, they don't know. One of the advantages of democracy nowadays, with people working everywhere and anywhere, and people moving about freely and freedom of association, is that most people know about Muslims or Islam because they've met a Muslim somewhere and they've noticed something different about them. They know that we fast, or they know that we eat halal food, because you might go to the same work function and you find out that there's a halal section, or maybe all the food is halal. Because one thing about the Western Cape is the government. Whenever the government has a function and it's a catered for function, then the rule says that the food must be halal. It makes sense because everybody can eat halal food, but the Muslims at that function won't be able to eat if the food is not halal. So just make all the food halal. And so maybe that also inspires or instills fear in people, because Islam is the acknowledged fastest growing religion in the world. And it's not just because Muslims have a lot of children. And Muslims, by the way, have a lot of children because that is a sunnah, it's an instruction to have a lot of children. Because we're supposed to make the ummah or the community bigger. We are not supposed to have two children for economic reasons and you can't, blah, blah, blah. We believe that every child has his own rizq put out for him. And rizq doesn't translate 100% into meaning money. Although people, as soon as you say the word rizq, they think money. But that child's life, according to his resources, is already put out for him before he's born. So you deciding that you only want to have one child, or nowadays it's two children, and if you hit it lucky first time and you get a boy and a girl, then you have a pigeon pair. So that's it, full stop. And it's because young people today work on their own. They want to be isolated and they want to have this atomic family. But if you have your parents and the child's grandparents from both sides helping you and being part of your family, then why do you have to stop at two? So it's just the two of you and your two children. No, it shouldn't be like that. Fearing Islam is something unfounded, and Islam will spread and is spreading faster than any other religion. In the area where I live in, I know of 3 churches in the immediate vicinity, 5 to 10 minutes away from right here where I am now, that have become mosques because nobody came to the church anymore, so they sold it. And they sold it, and Muslims bought it, and it's now a masjid, all 3 of them. In fact, the one is an old stone church, a huge building. It's actually a complex with classrooms, and there's an upstairs, a downstairs, and a basement. It's massive, and it's made of stone. It's now a masjid. So people need to become more educated about Islam and about what Islam is. Many people are surprised to find out that Muslims don't want to kill non-Muslims. They think that we want to kill them. They think that if you become a Muslim, then you must put on a bomb vest, or a vest full of bombs, and you must go and blow yourself up and blow a lot of people up with you. Okay, some of them are just acting like idiots, but that's a stupid joke to make. But it is a fact that a lot of people are misinformed about what Islam is. And another fear is that when they do find out what it is, then they become Muslim. And we say they revert, and revert means they go back to Islam. We don't say convert to Islam. You can't convert to Islam. And why can't you? Because we are informed that everybody was born Muslim. It's your parents that made you a Hindu or a Christian or whatever religion it is that you now follow. So when you become a Muslim, you revert to Islam. You go back to what you were when you were born. You were always Muslim. And so that is another fear, that everybody goes back to what they originally were. That is Islamophobia, fear of Islam. Assalamu alaikum.